Hi, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. Welcome back. If you're here for the first time, then a warm welcome to you. You know, it's interesting, this topic. I started my book, which I wrote back in, 2003 or something, Lessons for a Happy Marriage, my first book. I've been doing this since 2001, and ironically, I used to be a divorce mediator first. So I really got to understand what hurts marriages. It took longer for me to learn how to help people. But since then, at the Marriage Foundation, which we founded in 2009, we've been saving literally thousands of marriages with our courses. And so it's a good question. What are the 3 top killers of marriages? And I'm going to tell you, I've been talking about this when I would do public speaking and speaking at divorce support groups. Number 1 killer is over-familiarity. And you may not be familiar with that word and what it means, so I'm going to go into it. But over-familiarity, what is that actually? What am I talking about? I am talking about the relationship that you are supposed to have with your husband or with your wife. You're supposed to be always very respectful, very considerate, very open, receptive to them. Always. Now, this is kind of a surfacey thing because it doesn't really get to what marriage is all about, but that's in another killer. But what happens is we start taking each other for granted. That's what over-familiarity breeds. It breeds a lack of respect. It breeds inconsiderate. You know, the best example for over-familiarity, if you have a brother or a sister and you have no qualms about saying things, ew, that's ugly, or why did you say that? What is wrong with you? Those kind of terms. With your brother or your sister, it's no big deal. You've grown up together. You don't necessarily love your brother or sister with your deepest heart of hearts like you're supposed to with your spouse. And so we have this in their space kind of approach to them. And we don't treat them the way we're supposed to. But with your spouse, you got married because you fell in love with them, but you wanted 3 things out of your marriage. You wanted to be happy. You wanted to experience that love that you felt with them in the beginning when you first met your soulmate. That's deep. That's from the heart love, not that emotional shadow love. And you wanted to live in harmony. But then you complained about this. You criticized them for that. You became impatient over this. That's all comes from over-familiarity. It's a way of treating someone that you're not, you know, I coined the phrase sacred space of marriage because we should view our marriage as holy, as so special, and our partner as so special that we would never dare say something to them that might hurt their feelings, that might put them off. You know, you're on your best behavior when you meet someone important, right? Sure. Who's more important than your spouse? You know, the real definition, you might say, of marriage is connection. It's that connection of love. And we can easily undermine that connection, or we could learn how to constantly improve it. Over-familiarity is ignoring the whole thing, just living our day-to-day life, talking to them like they're your brother or your sister or your crazy uncle or aunt, and we just don't care. That's the number 1 killer of marriage, because we lose our focus, which is meant to be on that love, and we put it into the mundane, nonsensical, stupid day-to-day stuff. This bugs me, you always make me angry, you always do this, you always do that. That's the number one killer. The second killer is business mentality. Well, I did this for you. Why aren't you doing this for me? Business is all about give and take. Marriage isn't. Marriage is about love without expectation. You've heard the term unconditional love. People think, oh, unconditional love is reserved for mothers and fathers for their children. Well, sure, that's there, but that's imposed upon us. We're compelled to love our kids unconditionally. We're taking responsibility for their lives, and they're not really even our kids. They belong to God. So it's a very high level of responsibility, and we just seem to naturally love them unconditionally. You chose your spouse. They're the only person in your entire life who you have chosen to love, honor, and cherish for the rest of your lives. It's amazing. And then what happens is, because we're not taught, it's not your fault. What happens is we start to treat them like a business associate who has to do their part. You know, you hear, we have nothing, by the way, to do with Western psychological thinking. As I said, I used to be a divorce mediator, and I learned the truth about marriage. Western psychology has no place in a marriage, no place whatsoever. You're not there to figure out whether your spouse is a narcissist or has had trouble with their childhood and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You have chosen them for you to love forever unconditionally. This overlay of this business mentality screws that whole thing up. You have to be totally, what's loving? Accepting, supportive, caring, no matter what they do to you, because they're not doing anything to you. It's just who they are, and you have some weaknesses that reject those things. So that business mentality. So number one is over-familiarity. Number two, business mentality. The third one is very interesting. You know this. Poor communication skills. But it doesn't just start with learning how to make I statements and all that. That stuff is nonsense, by the way. Your communication is primarily unspoken. It's about love, expressing love constantly. And it doesn't begin with what comes out of your mouth or through your fingers. It begins with maintaining this presence of love within yourself so that your whole demeanor is one of love. If you're feeling love for your wife or for your husband, what's going to be on your face is a smile, not a frown or a rolling eyes or anything like that. And so that's where it starts. So those are the three top killers of marriage. There's a fourth. The fourth is expectations. Once you allow expectations to take root into your mind of what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing, and like that, you become their judge and not their spouse. You've got to get rid of those expectations. Been doing this for a very long time. By the way, I hope you're a subscriber. We have over 70,000 subscribers now. It's amazing. You know, people are so intoxicated with this psychobabble because it sounds good. It's theoretical, but it sounds good. Oh, he or she must have had a tough childhood. They had a poor relationship with their father/mother. Oh, this, oh, that. Who cares about that? The only thing you care about is growing your connection with your spouse with deepest love and intensity. Increase it, increase it, increase it. Utilizing your free will, your volition, and implanting in your mind that nothing else will do. You see, we have free will. What a gift God has given us in this free will business. It's amazing. It's so powerful, this free will, that even though you may be feeling anger because of past stuff buried deep in your mind, you can choose to put all of that aside and feel love. Just like that. You have that power. Use it. Your marriage is an amazing entity. You have to water it, you have to fertilize it, and it's all about love, happiness, and harmony. And I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. I'm so glad that you have come. I hope you visit again. Write to us. Go to our website. We have way over 1,000 videos. We have articles. We have a free download, the top 10 do's and don'ts for marriage. We're here to help you. And you could write to one of our marriage counselors, our TMF marriage counselors. They're not necessarily welcome psychologists, although we've had many converts. And you can get good advice, sage advice, because we know what we're doing. God bless you and take care. Thank you.